day, breathful day. So before we start, let's get everyone in here, gather some time. We're still in Jamrock, we're still in Jamaica, Clarendon. And I want to quickly talk about discipline and burnout, because a lot of people do fall trap to that discipline and burnout. And a lot of people may look at me as like, oh, you're so disciplined. Yeah, to a certain degree. You know, that's why I don't have a particular morning routine. Everyone needs to understand the foundations of what gives things its labels. And it's called fluidity and motion at the end of the day. This is why I encourage people to do the breathing randomly throughout the day, because life is random. When you're so rigid and, oh, I'm disciplined, I'm doing this, that, of course you're gonna burn out, because life isn't that way. The sun isn't always going to shine it does shine every day to a certain degree, but it does rain, it does snow. It has its seasons, it has its fluidity. And when you dive into mental breath work, in real time, you honor certain actions that you're seeing visually, and you interact with that versus compartmentalizing. There's no need to fall trap for the discipline aspect. Yes, it has its merits, it has its certain degrees, but at the end of the day, is it fun? Is it truly fun? That's another thing. That's another thing why I built and shared Alchemy Breathwork the way I do, with the subliminal breathwork music that is low-key fire. And it took, I want to give a shout out to May and Lyric, for really pushing me out there and saying that, no, brother, you are an artist, and we all are making art. Your life is a work of art. It has its paint strokes. It has its random influences of artistic expression. There's an anime called Bleach, and Bleach it's one of the top animes of all time. I think it's in the top 100, top 50. And they asked the writer or the creator, why, this anime has such a potential to be like Dragon Ball Z, One Piece. And you look at those particular animes and they have over thousands of episodes and movies, etc. And he said, oh, because I didn't have inspiration to draw or write. So I didn't force myself. I don't have a discipline or a routine or whatever. This is from pure expression of his soul, basically. This is what I'm expressing to you. And now it has made a return. I think it's called 1,000-Year War or something. And it's a very interesting anime. It shows you the soul society, where not in this human vessel, but there's another dimension that we go to when we, quote unquote, pass on, or another dimension in that sense. And you see there's still, quote unquote, fighting demons and stuff of that nature. It's very interesting. But long story short, it is now critiqued as a super well done storyline, art, how it's drawn, how everything is meshed together, because it's coming from the pure essence of that being. He says, I need to just draw randomly and then it'll start coming. I don't have a particular way of building how these other artists are doing it. I don't fall trap to that, in his own words. This is an anime that has made millions, and you're just hearing the creator saying, so all these years, the reason why we couldn't get the ending and the finishing pieces of the storyline, because you didn't have inspiration to draw. You didn't have inspiration to create the storyline. Yeah, that takes time. And he's doing it on his own time. Sorry, not it takes time, but it takes divine time, if you will. And I like to say divine time is either on your own time or just honoring the time that is given. And he's doing it from pure expression from an authentic point. He's not forcing himself. Now, Dragon Ball is a little similar in that sense because Toriyama had to take a step back. He was like, I want to be with my son. I want to spend more time with my son. You know, and I'll be here and there. I'll give you direction or whatever, and you flow with it. All the new Dragon Ball stuff is not fully him. He's only part of it. And now he's come back to, I think, Dragon Ball Super. And now he's having more input because his son is all grown up. So, you know, he has no excuses at that point. And there is no retiring. It's just like Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer is a great example as well. You know, since we're talking about the heart here and doing the heart breathing and the cardiac breathing. So this all relates to the essence of the soul and coming from that authentic expression. So someone was also asking me about, does this harmonize or does this affect your magnetic field? Of course it does. Like I said, pick a tree for at least 30 days, do this type of breathing next to the tree or any type of meditation next to that tree, and you'll start to feel a different essence of connection when you go to that tree. All right, and then you're just opening your awareness and different senses within yourself that may have been dormant because of a lot of random factors of today's society, if you will. And with that, going back to the fluidity aspect and less rigidness, you know, just like Bruce Lee, be like water, as he says, right? Bruce Lee didn't fall trap to what he saw in traditional Chinese Kung Fu, etc. You know, if he had fall trap to that, you wouldn't have MMA. Bruce Lee is literally the father of MMA. Bruce Lee is the reason why MMA fighters work out a particular way. And they're not just getting strong or whatever, they're focusing on strength, right? Why doesn't a small little MMA guy can take on a big, gigantic, muscular dude? Strength. There's a difference between strength and looking big. I think I showed you that 1-inch punch you had. I'll play it and then we'll get into the breath work.
Do bigger muscles equal a stronger 1-inch punch? First, we have a power lifter. Get the score. 6'11". That's impressive. Next, we have a bodybuilder. Oh.
Listen to his breathing when he punches.
That's not bad. Now we have a calisthenics athlete. Oh, that was pretty weak. Calisthenics sucks. 249. That's the lowest so far. I have to beat 6'11".
You heard that?
722. Whoa. I guess size doesn't mean everything. Bigger muscle.
Okay. So I just wanted to share that in that aspect that, yeah, size doesn't mean everything and how that replicates in different dimensions of life. Well, when you're doing this style of breathing or harmonizing with your environment in real time, you're honoring different muscles that, if you will, life is, you know, putting pressure on you in a sense. So pretend this is life and this is you. And some people think that, you know, life is doing this to them, right? Versus creating enough pressure and just meeting life in the middle. Because think about it, if you're so all in rigid, I'm doing discipline, I'm doing these practices, blah, 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 and you're ignoring all of what life has to offer, etc., then eventually, I'm burned out. I'm doing this. I don't know why I do this anymore. If you can bring the fun of breathing into any aspect of life, then now you know why you're doing it, because it's fun in general. Breathing should be fun. It's a foundation of life. So, tapping back into this, pure nasal breathing. I'm going to share the foundations again. Sucking in your stomach on the inhale or pushing in. Today, you won't be actually having your hands on your right hand stomach. So hopefully you built that motion of what that muscle is doing when you're inhaling, and on the exhale, you literally just let go or you push out, up to you, okay? Up to you. But on the inhale today, we are going to harmonize with the magnets in our hands, because your hands produce magnetic energy and heat. Okay? But you know what also is magnetic is your breath. Your breath is magnetic. What do you mean, Devon? If I pour liquid oxygen, now let's go over the other elements. So you have two magnets here. And I'm pouring nitrogen, I'm pouring all these different elements. But when you pour oxygen, oxygen will stabilize in the middle because it's also magnetic. It's a magnetic force. Oxygen is magnetic. The breath is magnetic. And how can we harmonize the breath with our hands? And I'm sure you've seen different Qigong styles, Kung Fu styles, but this is simply following the movement of your breath. Okay, so on your inhale, where does it go? When you inhale, where does it go? Does it go up in your head or down? It goes mainly down. Down to your lungs, right? So that's your inhale. You want your palms to be facing down. And then when you exhale, you come back and you're going to be tapping with one straight long exhale. So I'm going to demonstrate. Inhale. And then exhale. And you want your exhales to be long as possible. That way you're breathing more into the parasympathetic state. And when you're doing that in a stressful situation, what do you think you're also training your subconscious as well to do whenever you're in random situations, random stressors? This is breath work, if you will, that you can utilize in real time. That's what Alchemy Breathwork is about. Turning every breath into gold. No matter what you're going on through life, you're breathing in that moment. So instead of saying, oh, woe is me and I'm going through this, it's actually going through me, right? So I literally can breathe into the complete opposite in that moment because you're also honoring what that moment is in real time and shifting it, taking that one tiny step. And the long journey, it's going to be a journey. And that's what people tend to neglect or don't see the full picture. And I call it, or it is called the integral way. The inner journey. Because no matter what you're going on through life, you're still in here. And you're also expressing and expanding out there as well. And that in itself is honoring life as the meditation. As I said, I'm just a guide, all right? So as a guide, whenever you hear the whistle, that'll be the cue for you to bring your hands together. But we're gonna shift it up today again. So on your inhales, I want you to bring your hands down, and then on your exhales, you can bring it back up into prayer. Inhale, bring your hand down, harmonizing with your inhale because it goes down. As you exhale, it comes back up. So inhale. I'm going to remind you when we get to that point. Okay? So we're going to start. And those who are just joining, I'm going to remind you again on the inhale, you're pushing in your stomach, all through the nose, palms facing down, feet shoulder width apart, and you're coming back up and you're tapping. So when you come back up, you then place your right hand on your stomach, and your left hand you want to continuously tap as you exhale. All right, so we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Go at your own pace. Bringing the hands together. Inhale, hands down. Exhale, bringing the hands back up. What you're doing as well, you're creating like a cycle, a circular cycle. Inhale. And then the exhale comes up, around. Harmonizing with the magnetic field of the heart in a circular motion. Thank you all for sharing the breath. A reminder, you can do this randomly throughout the day and you can extend it, okay? You can extend it as long as you want. Remember, you're following your own breath. When you follow your own breath, you're following your own spirit. I'm just a guide. Have a breathful day. If you found value in this, leave your comment, leave your experiences below, and share this. Peace.